Welcome to another episode of the Inside the Bullheads podcast with your hosts Marius and Ska. Hopefully you learned something new, hopefully you enjoy it, so sit back, relax and enjoy. So, we're back, episode number 3, who would have thought?
Yeah, we don't even know if it's gonna be 3 or maybe we can misplace them afterwards. Anyways,
don't take it.
This is the debut
Of
the bullhead.
Oh, yeah. Continue, please.
So what is a bullhead, Marius?
Okay, that's how it. Yeah, we were talking and we thought that we never actually explained why the podcast is named like this and it's Inside the Bull's Head. We're not gonna go too deep into it, but basically a bull is a person which, let's say, it's pretty, what's the word? Stubborn, first of all. Yeah, that's an attribute, but in a good way, which maybe sometimes doesn't end up well, but we go in a stubborn way to solve and to try to get to our goals. And basically, the thing is that the stubbornness gets into resilience, better said, so to say. So, yeah, it's basically a person that knows what he or she wants and goes after it. Yeah. It's pretty cliche, maybe, to say that in today's environment, so to say. Right. But I say that it's not. I don't know why, but it seems genuine to me. So
actually, we had a couple of characteristics in common, like you and I, from the month which we're born, which is May, which makes us Taurus.
Yeah.
Hence the bull.
Yeah.
Plus some characteristics like being intense with certain things, being stubborn, right? Again, in a good way. Sometimes it's not the best thing to do.
Yeah.
But you have to pick up something and run with it. And being stubborn is something we decided to pick up and run and use it in life. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We just try to channel it in the best way possible.
Yeah. And if not, we adjust and we try to get to the...
Yeah. Because we all started somewhere, whether training, whether going after something. And at times it seemed hard or unattainable or maybe difficult. But we kind of persisted. We actually doing it right now. I'm myself uncomfortable doing this, but I'm doing it anyway.
You still are?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
just focus, not focus, but just think of the moment in which you're gonna have also a camera.
Yeah. We are taking it step by step, But that's one component of just being. This time, I decided to be stubborn against things that are not allowing me to, let's say, advance with doing something that I want. So yeah, what about you? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, it's basically just for me. It's not just being stubborn about anything, because, for example, we should also be able to adjust. And for example, if our goal is to do X, but on the way X maybe goes more into Y because that's how life goes in general. Maybe you should accept that, but we should keep the core values. And that's the thing, like, just for me, it's having my core values and sticking to them no matter what. Like, maybe we got actually a saying, but it's in Romanian. I don't know if I can translate it well. I either win big or hit my head into a wall or something like that. And I'm okay with hitting my head into the wall, so yeah. I'm going for it.
Yeah. I don't want people to take it literal, like just being stubborn, having an ego. We all have it. And at the end of the day, we had to come up with a name for the podcast that we had to explain eventually.
Yeah.
So we picked a characteristic that can be aggressive, that can be quite challenging.
Stuff like that.
So it's just actually taking your ego and put it in use something that can benefit you, people around you.
Yeah.
So the bottom line, probably that's what it is.
And basically, if you're stubborn about being a critical thinker, well, you're not going to be stubborn about your idea. You're going to be stubborn about the truth, which is the best way to be stubborn,
Yeah,
I'd say.
yeah, yeah. One more thing, I don't want people to confuse being stubborn with not being able to change your mind.
Yeah.
Because this is something we do on a
Daily.
daily basis, or
Try at least.
as frequently as we can. Um, Another thing I want to touch on, even if you see yourself in us being stubborn, going after what you want, being relentless in a way, right? Also use it to just develop yourself in a way. So always look for the truth rather than things that confirm what you know and what you have. It can be ideology, it can be the training principle, it can be a relationship thing, it can be a business thing. Always be willing to change your mind and put all your energy into pursuing the truth. And just adopt what works, not what you like, probably. So yeah.
Okay, let's get into more helpful stuff. Let's say not that
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah,
wasn't
yeah, yeah.
helpful, but today we should tackle about the topic, like why we don't train to burn fat, and after that we shall get also into why carbs are not the devil, and
Okay.
we should actually love them because they're just carbon, like basically a chemical, nothing that.
Okay. We should start with the training part.
Yeah, like what I've already thought about is the fact that I think that everybody that weight trains and has some visible results got into a situation in which family wise, friend wise, or anything like that, with people that don't lift, eating something which is considered less gym appropriate or something like that. And what's the comment that you get? It's okay. You'll go to the gym and you'll probably burn it off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Like for the hundredth time, that's not the mindset. And that's if you go in the gym with the mindset that you're gonna burn the food that you ate today, you're setting yourself up for failure. Basically, it's a bad way to go there.
Yeah, like imagine back in the day, like a hunter gatherer going out and like, you know what, I'm going out today and I'm gonna burn what I ate yesterday, or
Yeah.
the lion that I just ate, or the gazelle. I mean, um, I don't think it's a worthwhile goal to pursue to anybody. I think metabolic health is something you can pursue. It's muscle mass you need to pursue, becoming stronger, becoming more endurant, taking care of your cardiovascular system. That's, let's say, a more noble pursuit. But if you're after burning calories, I mean, when do you stop? How do you decide?
Yeah.
Do you train more when you eat more? Do you train less when you eat less? Should everything? It's like having a partner. You're constantly gauging what they did for you.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're gonna balance things out. Like, I don't think it's uh, the perfect goal. Let's say, maybe when you get started, you don't know. Makes sense.
Yeah,
Right?
no problem.
Like,
with that.
how do you get rid of something? You exhaust resources, right? I'm exhausting my resources, therefore I will get
Makes some
slimmer,
sense
fat.
there.
So yeah. Any comments?
Just the fact that, as we've touched on in the last podcast, or again, because nobody knows what the order is gonna be, but doesn't matter. We talked about basically training, and because of you putting on muscle mass, you actually get a bigger calorie tank, so to say. So when somebody that's actually fit or something like that, or has more muscle mass than the average person, it's a pizza or something like that. They don't eat it with the thought in their head that, oh my god, I need to burn an X amount of calories after that. They eat it and they just know that basically it goes there in the tank. If there is more space in the tank, basically, if there are more calories left for them to eat, they're gonna eat more. And just the fact that they ate pizza or I don't know, burger or something like that, this doesn't mean that it's gonna go and store itself as fat. As long as we are in a deficit or maybe on maintenance, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. Nobody has to go and to burn it off. And even if maybe somebody that again that works out and stuff like that, and they know that they ate too much, and maybe they ate too much for a week, basically they're not gonna go and burn it off. They're just gonna get to their old routine, eat a bit more appropriately, and get back into training. That's the best way to basically look at it, or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm aware of some literature in what burns what and how much.
Okay.
Resistant training, intervals,
Mm.
aerobic work, right? If you had to guess, or if you had to rank per minute, which training modality burns more calories per minute?
And what are we talking about?
Lifting weights,
Okay.
doing some sort of a treadmill, or high intensity interval training stuff like HIIT style.
Well, per minute,
Yeah.
I'd say that per minute it would be the steady cardio. Just because the hit one, you'll be, if it's actual hit, you'll be working for like 30 seconds and then needing to rest.
Yeah.
And weights are weights. You don't.
Yeah.
Too much.
Again, I'm not saying this to sound like a smartass or something, but I've realized that people confuse being exhausted with being exhausted with burning a lot of calories.
Yeah.
Lifting weights, most people, like, the longest they can go is like 90 seconds of lifting weights.
Yeah.
Versus just walking on a treadmill. Lifting weights is exhausting. Like, you finish a set and you are gassed. If you give it all.
Yeah.
If you're training at 70% plus, it's exhausting. If you train closer to failure, it's exhausting. Compared to walking on a treadmill or something, that's not a big deal. It just sweats some.
Yeah.
But we think that muscle contraction, like lifting weights, burns a lot, but not really. It's like 1 calorie, 1.5 calorie, per minute, versus 3 to 4 if you just walk.
Yeah.
Which is quite confusing for some people, So I'm not saying either person is right or wrong if you are for resistant training or if you are for cardio. But I don't want you to think that I'm lifting weights, therefore I'm burning a lot of calories than the person that is walking on a treadmill. And I don't want the person on the treadmill thinking that the person that is lifting weights is just a dumb person that's just trying to lift weight. So when you choose something, know what you're choosing and know why, and then decide. And don't judge anybody for it. That's it. So if your goal is to burn a lot of calories, your best chance is to do some cardio. If you want other benefits, strength, and some sort of endurance and so on, you have another road to go. So I wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, that's it. It's basically just using the right tool for the purpose that you have. Because if you want to look better and you're doing long sessions of cardio every day, that's not really going to happen. Like, maybe you're gonna lose some fat, or maybe not, and you'll look a bit smaller, stuff like that. If you got a big belly, maybe it's gonna get smaller. Maybe that's why you're gonna look better, but nothing more. You're not gonna get bigger. You're not gonna get shapier. Nothing. So you would be better off with doing some weights. But again, choose the right tool for the right purpose.
Definitely. I think we cannot touch on this without mentioning another one, which is fasted training.
Yeah.
Or fasted cardio. If I do it fasted, this is not my words, okay? This is people's question we get all the time. If I train fasted, I burn more fat. Okay? Is it true?
No, and I'll ask you to explain why, because you can do it better.
I mean, yeah, of course, you're going to go back and forth. So, when we say training fasted, we mention all the time burning fat. Okay?
Yeah.
Why do people think so? First, you don't have food in your system. Second, insulin is low. Third, you use more fat as energy. The tricky part is it's very temporary. And by the way, the food that you ate the night before, it's not gone.
Yeah, it's still there.
It stays in your system. Sometimes it takes 8 hours to digest food and absorb it. So It's not a miracle. Your insulin is low, yes. Food is still in your system. You're not empty. Your tank is not empty. Otherwise, you cannot even move, cannot even think. But let's go back to the fat part. There is a difference between mobilizing fat and using fat as energy, which is called oxidation. So mobilize, oxidize. When you train fasted, you mobilize a lot of fat. So you take those fatty acids from the cell and put them into the blood. It doesn't mean that you're gonna oxidize them and they will disappear. The body can release those fats, maybe use some, or maybe use some glycogen, or maybe use some protein. God knows, right? It doesn't mean that you're using fat. You're releasing fat into the system, but you're not actually releasing it out. You know. So a
Or
lot of
sweating
people.
it. Or sweating it.
Yes, yes, that's a big one. That's a big one. That's a big one. Want to add anything? Because I don't want to. I don't want to go too
Yeah.
sciencey. Um, so like we lose the point or something. So
Oh,
stop
so
me.
just as Scott said previously, the fact that by doing fasted cardio you don't do anything more. Like if you like it to do it, like nobody blames you or something like that. But that's not superior to simple like to eating or having food in your system in the morning cardio. It's not less efficient. And also because we've touched the sweat part, the sauna. Lots of people do it thinking that because they sweat they lose fat. Okay, now you lose weight, but it's water weight. And if you don't replenish that water weight in the following hours, you'll feel very bad. So basically, do you lose weight? Yeah, you lose weight because you sweat a lot. But if you're doing it in the right way and you're drinking enough water after that, you're putting it all back. The sauna is a very good recovery tool, but it's not gonna help you lose weight more than proper nutrition, basically.
Definitely, definitely. Actually, um, being in a hot environment is not as good as we think in a way. It's got some benefits on heat shock proteins that the body uses, for your mitochondria, blah blah. That's a health thing.
Mhm.
That's not fat burning thing. Another thing, even in terms of biochemistry, that fat mobilization and oxidation takes so many steps compared to glucose that's going to take a long time for fat to be used. It's not about the sweat, takes steps, one, two, like probably 50, 100 steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that easy. And then the body is smart. Why do you sweat? Why do we sweat? To
Temperature
bring
and
the
stuff, yeah.
temperature down. And when you cool down, you just achieved another
Yeah.
level of thing. Like for example, you sweat, body temperature goes down, so you don't have to sweat even more and more and more. It's like the car engine, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. But sensation wise, it works. It's undeniable. You go there, you sweat your ass,
And you
like,
feel
you
light as
can
a
feel
feather,
it.
yeah.
It's very challenging. That's something we deal with all the time.
Yeah,
Something that
sensation,
feels a certain
yeah.
way versus what actually is.
Yeah, that's a big one in the fitness industry because everything is basically based on feelings and stuff like that, physical feelings. So yeah, people do lots of mistakes in this area. Where do you think that the whole I eat something and then I go burn it off mentality came? Like, even for like let's say that it works for Karen, the lady that just does cardio at the gym, but let's say that Karen sees us, a literally big guy, more muscle than the average person, and she still thinks the same. Like, where did it all came off? Like, what was the starting point for that? Like, you eat something and then you go burn it off. Because if you go back to hunter gatherers, it wasn't that, and it was somewhere in the middle.
Actually, they tried to conserve as much as they could,
Yeah.
rather than burning as much as they can.
So somewhere in the middle, we actually fucked up, basically.
Yeah, I think it's about reward and punishment. Maybe we do it unconsciously. Like, I've ate this thing, therefore I need to pay the price for it. and the price is to do more cardio, train harder or something, uh, and makes people feel better psychologically. You know, that's why when you don't have the knowledge, all you can do is to trick yourself psychologically. You know,
Give us an example.
um, imagine if the person that used to eat something go and burn it off.
Okay.
Okay, she listened to this podcast. It's like, huh, I thought that I could burn the sneakers that I ate or the pizza that I ate. You know, and I thought that I was burning like my watch showed 500 calories. The treadmill is showing 800 calories. Like the pizza's gone, right? What if I told you that you just burn 200 calories? What you gonna do?
Go cry.
No.
Probably.
What about time? Do you want to invest your time burning things that you just consumed?
Yeah.
You could do something else.
Build stuff.
Right? There is actually a study, I think it was in 2017, two groups, male, female, doing resistance training at 70%. If I can remember clearly, it was intensity was 70%, 8 to 12 reps, 7 exercise per set, quite intense, you know. And then they calculated calories burned. Okay, the highest amount of calories that a person burned was 180 per session. Okay. If you eat a sneaker, how many calories are there? Like 300?
Like almost 300.
Yeah, 300. It's like you can never outwork out anything almost. You know, you cannot outwork anything. But interesting thing happened in the study. Men burned twice as much calories than females.
Okay.
Why? Because they were bigger. Yeah. So the best thing that you can do for yourself, instead of spending time doing cardio or working here or walking there and doing like spending your time doing something else, try to get bigger. And I know it's scary. Okay, I know it's scary for some people, especially for females. But if you get a bit bigger,
which is gonna look better, by the way.
Yes, you burn more calories just resting.
And you can eat more and look better. Like, who doesn't want that?
Yes. So think about muscle doing the work for you.
It's like passive income.
Yes, there you go. You know, I'll get your rates tomorrow, all that stuff. Yeah. So this is actually a documented thing. This is not a scam. You know, nobody makes money out of this. You know, just get a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Improve your metabolic health. You will burn more calories at rest. That's it.
And if you don't like going for studies or stuff like that, if you want to actually like double check this, even Steve Cook had a video like, I don't know, like a while ago when I used to watch more of his videos. He actually got, of course, it was like a strap and thing, but it was a bit more accurate than the watch. And also proved that he ate like, I don't know, like, I think he did the 10,000 calories challenge or something like that, and then tried to burn them off or something like that. It was just way too hard. You can't. You basically can't. As Ska said, you can't outwork the nutrition side of things. It's just basically impossible for most people. If you're not Matt Fraser or somebody that just does and did a huge amount of work during workouts, you should check your nutrition, basically.
I agree. Right. I mean, it's a worthwhile investment. If you care about time, if you care about being efficient, that's the way to go. If you want to do it to feel better, if you want something else, and that's for your mental sanity, go ahead. Do whatever you want. You want to dance, you want to walk, you want to go to the treadmill, you want to climb, do Congo jumps. You do whatever you want if it makes you feel good. So we're not here saying you should do this and you should eliminate this and blah, blah, blah. No, we're not team camp, okay? We are team what you want. You want this, there is a solution for it. That's it.
But just be efficient and think of it as basically, I don't know, an investment in anything. Because I don't think that you want to get your money, I don't know, in a business or in a stock or something like that, that's going to grow like you put today $10 and in 20 years it's going to be 11. Like, that's basically useless. You want something that's going to go at least double. So if you're still like thinking of Looking at shaking or
Yeah.
yeah, there was also
Okay.
checking that. You want something that basically gives you a better ROI on your effort, and especially if you say that you got children or you got lots of tasks to do and you got only 3 hours per week to work out or to do some physical activity, go for the most efficient way to basically be good to your body and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Do it the long term thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, being efficient. This is why we try to nerd out, right? Because if you do 10 sets of shitty exercise, you're gonna get something.
Yeah.
If you do too much cardio, you're gonna get something. If you eat X amount of calories, you're gonna get something. What we do and why we nerd out is to find efficient ways to do things. If I can figure out a training system or an exercise or a modality that allows you to get the same results doing 2 sets efficiently, that's what we do.
Yeah.
If I design a diet for somebody, I can crush diet them and they can lose a lot of weight. And then, okay, now you're free. Then they get fat again. So my job, whether it's design a training program or give a nutrition plans, is to make things efficient and long-lasting things, rather than do something unsustainable now,
Yeah.
And then suffer later.
And that's basically like any job, let's say, because we as humans just get better at what we do. We get more efficient at what you do, and then if you get the most efficient at what you do, you can learn others how to do that. And that's what basically everybody wants. Either it be like physical life effort, or be it, I don't know, being the best cook that you can be. Like right now, you can cook just 2 meals, but you want to be able to cook 10 meals. Same thing. Like you just need to get more efficient with your work.
Actually, that's why we have engineers. That's what they do. Engineers make things more efficient.
Yeah.
Less waste, faster, and better. That's what they do.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. How can I design an airplane that can get you from X to Y faster? How can I design, I don't know, a building that doesn't collapse? How can I build it faster? How can I fix it faster? How can I make things waste less energy? How can I need less employees in a business? How can I maximize everything per square meter?
Yeah.
Yeah. And probably we are not engineers, we're not building stuff, but actually we are designing things that help people get what they want in a very efficient way.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get a bit into the more nutritious side of things.
Okay.
And let's talk about carbs. What are carbs? Why are they so demonized? And basically, just what should you know as a average, not average, as a random person that just wants to get in better shape?
I will start with something a little bit personal, which is in what I do, I wish things were more complicated than they are.
Okay, why?
Because you can sell people on complicated things.
Yeah.
Right? Why carbs are bad? I can make up things. For example, people say this. Again, we cannot talk about carbs without talking about insulin. Again.
Which is already a fancy term. And when people hear about insulin and they're,
fuck. Do you want to go there? Do you want to go there? The fancy words? I mean, mitochondria, insulin, autophagy. Yeah. We can sound smart. But we are doing this so we can make information accessible and probably easy. Sometimes I'm tempted to make things a bit more complicated, but I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wish things were more complicated than they are. Things are complicated, but I don't like when people don't tell the full story.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start from the basic. Okay. People are afraid of carbs. Why? Is it because insulin? That's what you hear. Like you eat carbs, you spike insulin, right? Yeah. Or what? Why people are so afraid of carbs? Let's address the problem.
I'm actually trying to think like they just associate getting fat with bread, with pasta, with just eating carbs in general. Because if you ask them, they won't, like the average population is not gonna give you the insulin argument. That's the guy that tries to sell them something.
Exactly. Yeah.
They're just gonna tell you that, well, bread is bad or pasta is bad or it's just bad. If you ask them why,
Yeah.
I don't think that you're gonna get much out of it.
Okay, because I also hear people saying, "Okay, I'm going on a diet. I'm stopping the bread. I'm stopping pasta. I'm stopping rice. I'm stopping every carb possible. Fruits. I'm not eating fruits anymore. Stuff like that."
Yeah.
Um, why do you think people are doing that?
Why they're just stopping to eat
Yeah.
at all? Because, well, it's the easiest. Like, let's say, like we can do lots of analogies. Like when you don't know what doesn't work, you just exclude everything. It's like the bad doctor, you know, like what medicine should I give you? I don't know. I'm gonna give you something for everything there is, and something is gonna work.
Yes.
So
You know what? I will start with the conclusion, and then we're gonna build up into why it is the way it is. Okay. Um, if you wanna eat low carbs, you can do that. It works. If you wanna eat high carbs, it works. But if you think that one of them is the way to go for everybody, you are wrong.
very wrong.
Okay? Because there was actually a study, two groups, high carbs, low carbs. You know how much the high carbs ate? How many grams of carbs?
No.
300.
Okay.
To be exact, 281.
Okay.
Okay? The low carb, 56 grams of carbs.
Okay, that's yeah.
12 weeks, almost lost the same amount of fat.
Mind blowing.
This is not my word. Actually, if we can link up studies and shit like that, we're gonna figure out ways to do it.
Okay.
So we're not just throwing up numbers for nothing. So if you are high carbs, you're right. If you are low carbs, you're right. Okay? Don't confuse them for which one is better than the other one, because then you're wrong again. I'm throwing the ball on now.
Yeah, and it's basically just the fact that people don't realize that by having enough carbs and having them strategically through the day, they're just gonna make their lives better because carbs are basically just fuel for your body, and it's the most accessible fuel to your body. So yeah, maybe you shouldn't abuse on bread, on potatoes, on pasta. We all know that it's common sense. Like just don't eat too much. But if you're gonna try, like going through the day, going through the week, going through the month, training, everyday stress, all that kind of stuff, with literally no carbs or very low carbs or something like that, unless you're one of those people that actually can do that and they're genetically predisposed to be able to do that in an enjoyable way. First of all, you're gonna feel very bad. Second of all, because you feel bad, you're gonna make people around you feel bad. You won't be able to give the same, how do you call it? Um, you won't be able to be as efficient, let's say, because I forgot the word in English, and you'll just half-ass everything because you're running basically on an empty fuel tank, which doesn't help you at all. So have carbs before a workout, have carbs after a workout. Maybe don't eat as many carbs throughout the day in general, but this is just another food group. It can't hurt you, as nothing else can't, as long as it's in the right quantity.
Yes, and again, to put things into perspective, right? I'm not saying just eat as much carbs as you want. Okay, some people have a predisposition for diabetes. Some are pre-diabetic. Some are diabetic. I won't ask them to eat a lot of carbs, right? Because they have an issue. Their receptors, like insulin receptors, are resistant now. So they have issue. They have high blood glucose in their bodies, and they need way more insulin to be able to uptake those glucose, right? So I know that's not the way to go for everybody, but we need to understand what carbs are and what fat are and what protein are. You know, uh, carbs has like, if you compare carbs and fat, okay, think about trying turn on some light, okay, you have two options. You have electricity to turn on the light, or you can make fire, right? Glucose is the electricity. It's faster and it's more efficient, okay?
And glucose is the carbs, basically.
Yes. So it goes straight into the muscle and you can use it instantly. It takes longer for the body to break down fat and use them.
Yeah.
So if you are into working out, if you care about performance, if you want to recover faster, if you want to feel better under certain conditions, of course, don't be afraid of eating carbs. That's it.
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Like, basically, it's just coming back to efficiency, because if you are in your room and you just want to find your, I don't know, your book or something like that, and you want to find it now, like you need the book right now, you're not gonna build a fire. That's gonna take you 20 minutes and maybe you'll burn the building off. Like, it's really inefficient. Go for the most efficient way. Turn on the light. So basically, even though maybe you haven't ate any carbs throughout the day, if you know that you're gonna have an workout, like in 1 hour, go have some carbs. You're gonna feel at least twice better than with no carbs. Like, yeah, you get accustomed to it because your body is smart, and you just get better at feeling not feeling that something isn't missing, basically. Because if you feel bad long enough, you want to acknowledge that you feel bad, basically.
Yeah.
But you just need to, again, not trust us or something like this. Do your own research if you want to, but carbs can't make you fat. It's not like they enter you and they're, oh my god, where is the fat? Let's go there. Or something like that.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend the other day, and his mom lost a lot of weight. He was like, "Man, it's keto, bro. It's magic." Okay, it's like keto all the way. You know, if you would ask an average, when I say average person, I'm not saying just a stupid or a dumb person. I'm saying a person that doesn't take fitness or nutrition as a profession.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I mean. They have their own professions, we have ours. So a general population, okay? If you ask them what keto is, what keto does, what do you think you would say? Because sometimes I assume that people know certain things or
No, they
don't,
don't.
and I want to know exactly where they stand.
Like, some people heard of different diets and stuff like that, and because the internet and like stuff like this, but most of them don't really know the mechanism behind it. But the whole mechanism behind it is just calories in, calories out. So what keto made your mom's friend do is eat less overall, which made her lose weight. She could have lost weight eating Oreos every day if she would have been in a calorie deficit. Should you do that? It's up to you. Do you want to eat calories? Do you want to eat Oreos every day? If the answer is yes, you can make that work. So it's basically just being.
I mean, I know people like to read between the line, and especially nowadays, people say calories in, calories out, and that's the way to go. Do I agree? Yes. Is it the only solution? No.
Not really.
No. I will explain why. Because calories in and calories out are dictated by other things. Okay? Every second of your life, you are making chemical reactions inside. Those reactions depends on micronutrients, hormones, stress levels, so many other components. So a simple answer is calories in, calories out. But what dictates what makes calories in, calories out higher or lower depends on other things. Sorry.
Okay.
So yeah. So I said so many so's. Calories in, calories out work, but how you get there matters. It's simple, but not that simple at the same time. So, yeah.
Give me like an example or something like that, or like some basically 2 or 3 examples in which like calories in, calories out works, but it's not the most efficient way to look about it or something like that.
Sure. The easiest answer that can come to hand now is thyroid hormones. Okay, if your T3s, T4s are messed up a little bit, your metabolism condition in a way changes. Okay, let's say if you are healthy, you burn 2,000 calories. Okay, if you have some sort of issues with your hormones, then your metabolism will change. You may think, okay, I need 2,000 calories to survive, but in reality, you may need less or more. Depends on your condition. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So sometimes we assume, okay, I will just give people less, but then what if your body adapts in a different way? Let's say I reduce 500, but your body is ready to handle even 800 calories of deficit. And you don't know that, but you cannot go even lower,
Yeah.
you know? So sometimes it's scary, but people should eat enough for a while, restore their health, because health and result are correlated. You know, sometimes people are not that healthy and they force the diet more and
Yeah.
more and more and more, and they hit a wall and then they give up. So I know sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Sometimes people don't want to eat enough or so on, but especially females, they diet for years and years and years.
All their life.
And then they hire somebody else expecting them to do something miraculous when it's not the case.
Yeah.
You know what's the miracle? Eat enough first. Reduce your stress, eat better, sleep better. Let's fix those issues. And then we have a body ready to lose fat.
Because that's a stress.
Losing fat or losing weight is a stress.
Yeah. And if you're very stressed because of other things, and we're not talking about just daily stress, kids, work, stuff like that. It's also training. It's also training. It's also basically everything that we do is stress. But the way that the body takes it depends on how much of a tank for stress you got. So the moment that you hit the upper limit, basically everything goes into airplane mode or something like that.
Yeah. It's like you can see the human body, it's a wonder. You see people with different fat distributions. You see people with different muscle mass. Some people respond to things more than others. Some people respond less than others. Okay, genetics, we know that. But then there are other attributes that you can manipulate in a way. And you need to give people a chance to learn more about themselves.
Yeah.
Another thing, don't change all the variables at once because you will never know where you get the results from. Start with one thing at a time. Maybe start with eating more protein. Maybe start with reducing your carbs a little bit. Maybe start with just keep everything constant and start working out. Or maybe keep everything the same and sleep better. You know, because people try to fix the symptoms rather than the real cause, right? Okay, I'm not sleeping, but I cannot fix my sleep. Well, put yourself in the right environment. Some supplements can help.
Yeah.
Maybe you have some deficiency. Go get your blood work. Props to your guy, by the way. And I just had a client that sent me his blood work.
Yeah.
I'm trying to encourage people to do more blood work
work.
because you know what? You go from fictitious people to suddenly have actual data that you can see.
Yeah.
And especially nowadays, like now it's winter, most people have vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D is very tricky. It acts like a hormone. You
told me that.
Yeah. So don't sleep on vitamin D. Now it's getting a lot of hype. Just don't over complicate things. Give it enough credit. Monitor it if you can, and hopefully things will get better.
What did I want to go for? It was. What did you talk about previously to vitamin D? We were on the.
Changing one variable at a time?
No, that related to that, but a bit more. If you go even bigger image.
Symptom rather than the cause?
Oh, so basically, what happens when people come to the gym? They feel basically like shit. They come to the gym because they want to look better and maybe feel better. And you end up trying to convince people to give it a bit more time because you can't really get bigger glutes or bigger biceps or bigger chest or any kind of bigger something without having things like proper sleep, proper nutrition, you actually feeling good and coming to the workout and being able to progress. If those things aren't there, you can't actually get the results that you want to. So, like a healthy-ish body is the baseline that you should have. Like, you don't just go to the gym and you start straight away going for weights and you're hitting peers, and most people don't want to do that and they look better and stuff like this. It's the fact that you should go to the gym, and maybe if your personal trainer or coach is telling you that, okay, your sleep is a bit off, let's fix that. Give it time and put your trust into the individual if he deserves it.
Yeah.
And just know that if your body isn't there, isn't on the baseline, you just won't be able to do the progress that you could. It's not impossible, but it's very inefficient.
Yeah. Look, I also understand that there are some professionals right there that use these things as an excuse for not being able to deliver. Like,
That's
I
true.
understand
Yeah.
people will. I'm not losing weight, or I'm not getting the progress. Oh yeah, because they know what's going on, and that, yeah, because you're not sleeping well, or because you are smoking, or because you eat junk food. Or,
Yeah.
okay, we get that. People came to you for a reason. Okay, if they're not listening, then I don't know who's to blame. You know, it's your job not just to give a diet or give a training program, but to somehow educate people when you can. Because I know sometimes just come there,
Yeah.
or they hire you like, okay, just give me what I want fast now, and there is like some sort of a time constraint. You cannot do everything in an hour. You cannot do everything in, let's say, weekly or bi-weekly checkups.
Yeah.
But whenever you have the reason, whenever you have the time, try to provide good information, which led us why we are doing this.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the luxury of time with our clients to sit down and have this conversation. And we're just trying to do it through this.
Yeah.
Maybe they will listen to it, maybe they will apply, maybe they will get to know us even more, because we cannot share our time with them all the time.
Yeah.
We want to tell them so much,
Yeah,
but we have so little time. So here you go.
And basically, the more you get to know the person, the more you get along.
Yeah.
It is a client to professional relationship, but also it's a human to human relationship.
Yeah.
So you sometimes chat to the person, stuff like that, and maybe you don't speak about how much should he sleep. You maybe speak about the event that happened or something like that, because you both like it or something like that. Yeah. And yeah, it's a beautiful job. Like I always knew this, but I realized it one more time this week actually.
Yeah. Should we once make an episode on what to expect if you get yourself involved in such profession?
We could. Like actually, like I've been hit up by younger guys, so to say, not the time very old. I'm 22 for those who don't know, but that would like to be personal trainers and stuff like that. And I think that they just went on the gym's page or something like that and asked me about like how is it, money wise, also atmosphere wise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we could. There are for sure people that would be interested in it.
Yeah. Another thing also, when you ask your client or mine, like, do you have any questions? What do you want to know? It's so hard for them to,
because they don't know what they want to know. Basically.
Yes, and I'm not saying that they're not cognitively healthy to know what they want and what they don't want. There are so much up there, and they have a life. They just want something that works. So we're trying to guess, we're trying to ask, we're trying to play around and maybe provide something that helps.
Yeah, I was actually having a conversation with one of my clients, and when we went to karting actually, and he was telling me that okay, maybe because he likes working out, he enjoys the process, but right now because he family stuff, job stuff, all that kind of stuff, he just literally doesn't have the time to go there and invest and what works, what doesn't work, what's the best source of information, stuff like that. So having somebody that could just, okay, back to efficiency, that's the most efficient way to go about it. Follow this and that, and you'll get there. It's the thing.
Yeah. So let's leave whoever is listening with some helpful tips today. Um, if you don't know what to do, don't overcomplicate things. If you have one good information, use it as much as you can. If you have the luxury to work with somebody that know what they do so and try to learn from them.
Ask questions. That's a big
Yes,
thing.
yes. Always ask why we are doing this, why you're doing that, for what reasons.
What's the difference between stuff where you're gonna see similar stuff, and it's just basically any professional that's actually a good professional is gonna be, it's gonna be a pleasure for him to actually explain to you, because
No.
we like talking about it, as you see.
Actually, one heuristic, which like some sort of mental model that you can carry on when you work with any professional, it's somehow see what everybody's doing. If someone else give you something almost the opposite, it kind of makes sense nowadays, you know. But I know at the same time people try to use creativity so they can mask not being competent in what they do. But in a way, just swimming against, the waves can be a helpful thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm confusing people further. So yeah.
So yeah, basically just it's all simple, and anybody that actually uses fancy words, like too many fancy words, like one fancy word per, I don't know, like
Per minute.
It's enough. Like if you get one word and then one more and one more and then one more, and you're like, what's he talking about? He probably wants to sell you something.
Yeah.
Most probably he's gonna sell you an overcomplicated thing which you could achieve in a much enjoyable and easier way. So basically just go for the simplest advice that you got, apply it. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, what did you learn? X. We're not gonna do X. That's great. Now we know that not eating at all doesn't make me look better. That's valuable information. What is gonna make me look better now? Let's take the next piece of advice that we got, and it's basically a pretty. Not saying that you should try actually everything that you see or hear, but if you really trust something and you want to try, like maybe as we've advised, just going a bit lower on your carbs, and you see that it doesn't work, try to go a bit more lower or something like that. It's just about adjusting. Like it didn't work, okay, we adjust. It worked, we keep it there.
Well, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think we covered it pretty well.
Yeah. Of course, every time I say something, I'm like, okay, I should say this too. I should say this too. But at the same time, I'm keeping my promise and
keeping it short.
Exactly, short, even though it's not
as short
and
as
less complicated, because as I'm talking, I see things and I see molecules, I see all sort of stuff, and I wish I could explain people more. Hopefully, we can. We try to keep it simple, and if anybody's interested in anything more complicated, we maybe can talk about that too.
Yeah.
On demand.
Yeah. Other than that, we're gonna keep it as simple and as easy to understand for everybody that actually wants to make a change in their life and to actually do something different.
Okay, I think next time we're gonna have more chill episode. Let's talk about something related to life, maybe
okay, we could do that. Yeah.
Friendship, maybe something that's going on, ideas, whatever.
Okay, we could change
because we did this so some people get to know us a little bit more. Of course, we like to talk about training, we like to talk about nutrition, but we also like to read, and we have ideas and our philosophies.
When we meet, actually, we don't speak that much of training.
Yes.
We touch it,
Yeah.
but nothing too much.
Yeah. All right, man. So hope people
it
enjoyed
helped.
this.
Yeah.
And
We're gonna wrap it here. Hear you or not? What do you say? Actually, we say that we're gonna get in touch in the next episode, and just I'm not gonna say try to be a bull. Maybe you don't want to be a bull, but at least. Okay, I don't know how to go, but
use your bull wisely.
yeah, use your bull wisely. Ska put it out there in the nicest way.
All right.
That was a good one.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, that's gonna be a wrap. Thank you for listening. Hopefully, you've learned something. Hopefully, you've enjoyed it. Any kind of advice, any kind of feedback, any kind of topics that you'd like us to go over, just send them on Instagram at The Fitness Practitioner or at Trained by Marius. And thanks for having us. Until the next one, enjoy the process.